Okay, so here we are, the part that everybody's been waiting for, or trying to avoid, depending on how you feel about it. Wiring, making an LS harness work with a boat. I have taken this off the PCM's right here. Just kind of got everything hanging out. So important key to doing this successfully is going to be wiring diagrams. This is a folder of paperwork that I've printed out that I got from lt1swap.com. Now we're doing an LS. The website is LT1, but he has LS swap diagrams as well as a mountain of information. I mean, any question you could possibly have about doing this, he's got the answer to on that website. I promise you find it there. So if you have a question along the way about this, I'll do the best I can to answer you, but the best bet's going to be go to his website, and I'm sure you'll find it. So I have that. I've also printed off a wiring diagram for the mercruiser wiring on the engine as well. So that way I know what pin goes where and what connector is what, because what we're going to do is take and we're going to split this harness apart, get it down to the bare basic that it needs to run, and then the parts came in for the back of the boat. So I'm going to take the engine back out and I'm going to bring it over, and once I get this stripped down, I'm going to put this harness on top of the engine, get it oriented where it's going to sit, and then I'm going to go take the mercruiser harness and overlay that on top of the LS harness. So the reason that I'm going to overlay that mercruiser harness on is because I want to have all the gauges work on the boat the way they were supposed to. And so for troubleshooting down the road, it makes it easier, because if I get into a situation where I need to chase wires, I got a gauge that's not working, I'm not having to go, oh geez, you know, what's LS and what's, I don't have to do all that. I know that as far as the dash on the boat is going to operate off of the original mercruiser principle. And what I'll do is on the LS engine, I will just either T the sensors. I'll take the sensor out of the port in the engine and thread a T in there, and then have the LS sensor and the older GM style sensor for the mercruiser harness. I'll either do that or just find other ports on the engine to get oil pressure and engine temperature in that. So I may do that. Anyway, the reason for that is down the road, if somebody else, if I sell the thing and someone else has to troubleshoot it, or if I have to troubleshoot it, it's a lot easier. Just grab a mercruiser wiring diagram and it's all going to be there. It's going to be where it should be. So as we go through this is something you see me referencing a lot. He's got them color coded, the red to the red connector and the blue to the blue connector. And then everything highlighted in yellow is what you remove. The blue is what you're going to keep to use for your specific application. And then the white is going to be everything that stays to run the engine. Okay, so what I've done here is just gotten some basic tools just to get the harness split open. I have a depinning tool for the connector, but I'm not sure where it is at this moment, so I'm going to have to look for it. But in the meantime, just a good sharp razor blade, side cutters, cut off any zip ties, a couple of picks just to get open some of the wire loom keepers and any connectors or anything that need to come apart, like the the security locks and that. Same thing with a screwdriver, just opening up the locks. All right, here. And I'm not going to film every inch of taking this apart just because it's really not necessary. I'm literally just taking loom and electrical tape off. It's pretty straightforward. But and we go through things like you need to take the back of these connectors off and then set them off to the side. Don't throw them out because you do need these to put everything back together. And then anything else that I come across that seems to be like a special situation, I will stop what I'm doing and turn the camera back on. But otherwise, I'm going to go ahead and get all this loom and tape off, and then we'll start talking about depinning and taking a look at them diagrams and seeing what we need to do. All right, and here it is. Mostly stripped down. I did leave a lot of the stuff together and left like some of the tape things because I know that a lot of this is going to stay. There's a lot of things like the injector harnesses here and the coil harness and things like that. I've seen intake manifold stuff, so I knew a lot of that was going to stay together, and it kind of branches off the main harness on its own. Once I droop this thing out, you'll kind of see that the main trunk has been opened up, but the little, you know, spines off the side have not. But I'm going to go ahead and grab the wiring diagram and the pinout diagram, and we're going to start digging into what stays and what goes. So I was just working on taking the bolts out of the connector for the PCM so I can go ahead and get the plastic cover off the back. And there's a little washer in there, and that's just a little lock washer. I said, oh man, you know, that'll be no problem. Take a flathead screwdriver and pop that thing right off. No, that thing is in there. That is quite the setup. So I'm going to take and show you how to get this out, or at least the way that I did it. All right, so here's how I got this thing out of here. Just take it, take an extension, 1/4 inch extension, put it in upside down so that the socket, or well, the, you know, the female end of it goes over the bolt. Then just take and a couple of good, well, got to put something under it. I forgot to put the thing under it. There we go. That way the bolt's got some room to go somewhere. All right, let's do that again. This one's not going. This one's going to make a fool out of me. The other one popped right out. I'm going to get this thing though. I'm going to tell you that right now. Oh, man. Wasn't kidding. That thing is in there. See if I can distort it enough to get the thing to pop through. I thought for sure that thing was just going to pop right out of there. It did not. Come on. All right. Let's see if that's distorted enough to come out. Kind of set that over towards the side here, so that way we don't break that plastic any more than I already did. Jeez. It's gonna make me look like an idiot, but I'm gonna film it because not everybody's gonna get it the first time. Jesus. There it goes. Got it. I broke the washer. Oh, good. That's a stupid thing out of the way. All right, there it is. There's the bolt. And we'll see if we can. Yep. There's half the washer. The other half fell on the floor. Well, I broke the cover. That kind of sucks, but I can probably get another one in the junkyard. Of course, you know, I'll break 3 before I actually get one off clean. So we're just going to take, this has got, it's a pain in the butt with the camera. So this has got these little squeeze tabs here on the end. Just squeeze them and they pop out. This, you know, obviously it's not supposed to come out in multiple pieces. It's supposed to be one piece, but you know, that's the way it goes when you get a little rowdy with it, I guess. And these things This truck came from up north, and these connectors are all corroded. Come on. Oh, is this thing gonna lock in it too? Yeah, there we go. Goes. And this last one that's being an absolute pain. There we go. All right. What else? Got one right here. There. Good God. 2-piece garbage now. All right. So to depin these, you just got to take these connector faces off. They're just, you know, pin guides. Should just be able to take a flathead screwdriver, and they should, if you're gentle about it, just pop up. Of course, this thing's made me a liar on everything I've done so far. Oh, it's trying to take the whole thing out. Well, I don't want to do that. All right, after a little further investigation, I stopped what I was doing to try, because it was trying to pull the whole thing out, and I didn't want to do that. There are locking tabs. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this. Right down, right in there, there's a little tang on each side, on each end of this. So you'll have to release that in order to get it out of there. It seems to me it should just be as simple as pushing that away. Oh, man. Okay, yeah, just push on the inside. Don't be a gorilla like me and shove on it. Just push on the inside here, and it will release that tab, and just pull up on the outer shell like that. There you go. Do it again. Like that. Like that. Nope, didn't get that one. There we go. Like that. All right. And that is how we're going to access these lock pin. Oh, hang on. That's how we're going to access these locks that hold the pins in. Man, this thing does not like to focus. There. Lock pins that hold these pins in. You'll lift up on these, and then that'll release the pin, and you'll be able to slide it out from the back. Now, I just want to point out what not reading gets you. This is the instructions from that lt1swap.com, and I pulled out that sheet so I can just go ahead and start working on the red connector. And I was looking, I said, well, let me look through here. I thought I had a connector face view because the pins are not identified on that. And if I'd have just, you know, read this thing before tearing into this, he talks about how to get that out. He talks about how to get that out, and so on and so forth. You know, depinning the thing, which I already knew this end of things, but as far as getting that connector shell apart, you know, I probably should have read first. So when you do this, you read first. All right, so according to the swap, to make this a standalone harness, you have to cut the connector off of this, which this one was already broken on this harness. You have to cut this connector off. So I'm going to cut it back in case I need some pins or something. So I'm going to do that just in case I need the pins for something else. This is going to go in my electrical components spare pile. For fixing customer vehicles, the same thing with this one. Just cut it back. Again, you don't have to do this and leave this much pigtail. I'm just saving this because in case I have a customer's truck comes in that, you know, has an issue right at the connector or something, I have extra pins and whatnot. And then it says to remove all of the wires except the pink ones out of this, and then you will one by one remove the pink ones out as you determine which ones are what circuit. Because as far as I understand, they're all power feeds for everything. Power feeds for O2 heaters, just everything. It's got power going to it as far as sensors go. Vehicle power, not VREF, but vehicle power. All right, so again, I'm going to cut this further back in case I need these to repair a customer's vehicle down the road. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but GMT 800 trucks live forever, except the Rust Belt ones. Those ones, salt kills them, but southern ones and western ones, they live forever. I'm not sure which one will die first, a GMT 800 or, which if you don't know what a GMT 800 is, it's a platform code. It's 99 to 07 Chevy truck. But I'm not sure which one will live longer. A Ford with a straight 6 or an 800 Chevy with a lifter tapping 5.3. Wow, look at that wire. You see that? Oh, you see that? I don't know if you can see the discoloration in the camera, but that wire's been hot at some point in its life. Something was angry. Almost cut it because I keep thinking it's the wrong color. Cut out everything that's not a pink wire, the man says. You know, we'll do that. Let's fold these down so they're out of the way. Okay, so I believe we have cut everything off but the pinks. Okay, so at this point, these are all powers that are going to, I assume, go to battery power, ignition power, and some will probably have to be put on relays. We'll see as we get there. But let me go ahead and reposition this harness, and we'll start depinning. So I know I had said earlier that I was looking for pin IDs on these, on the connector face, because I thought it would be labeled there. I was incorrect. They're labeled on the back there. Let me try and get this thing. I don't know if you can see how they're labeled at the top there. So that's, you know, you'll know which pin to pull out. So as you can see by the sheet, there's a lot of yellow in there. So I'm going to go ahead and, what I'm going to do is I'll do a couple here on camera and then just go ahead and pull the rest because it's a pretty straightforward operation. So we're going to keep 1 and 2. We're going to remove pin 3. So That should be a tan wire, and that wire is already missing on this connector, so this connector didn't use that. This particular truck didn't use that. So then we're going to go to pin 4 is not used. Pin 5 we can remove. That is a delivered torque signal. It also does not use that. The red and black is transmission fluid pressure control solenoid high. That's going to get removed because we don't have a transmission because it's going in a boat. So we'll go ahead and disengage that thing there. And then just go ahead and pull on it from the back. And these are probably going to be stiff because they've been in here for years and years. Pick to sit in there. All right, let me try and push it out from the front. There it goes. Just had the wrong angle of the dangle. So pull that out. We don't need that because we don't have a transmission. Then EGR solenoid. We are not going to do an EGR valve because it's a boat. And it is going to emit all the how dare yous. There we go. Come on, there we go. That one's out. Fuel pump relay, I believe we're going to need that. Tack output, we're going to leave that for now. AC pressure switch, maybe if you're rich and your boat has air conditioning. I am not, so that's coming out. That is a blue with a white. That's this one. Which is ironically the heck? Okay, I see what I did. I got myself confused here. I missed a pin, so it wasn't lining up and I was getting confused. This is for transmission fluid pressure control. Again, I don't have a transmission. And so you can see this is pretty straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and blow through this list and take out everything that that we don't need for the boat, and I will come back once I have them removed. All right, so here we are. I have depinned everything we do not need out of the red connector, and here is what's left. Really not that much. Here's everything that has been removed. This is all stuff that is truck related, that is going to have absolutely nothing to do with our boats. These are all wires that are going to get pulled out of the harness. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat this process for the blue connector, and then I will go start pulling them out of the main trunk of the harness, and then once I get all this pulled out, we'll pick up from there. All right, and here it is. This has all now been depinned, and I've taken and kind of grouped everything and labeled the ones that are just cut off and terminated so that we know where they go. I know it still looks like a giant pile of spaghetti right now. It's all right. I'm going to, in the next video, take and drape this on the engine, land all the connectors where they go, and then we'll neaten everything up and make it a nice, smooth harness. And that way it'll look, you know, how it should. And then we'll start taping everything and looming everything and cleaning it up and wrapping it up, as well as adding in the mercruiser harness. All right, so I got this all unraveled, as you see. Definitely made a couple of mistakes. If I go back and do this again, I would take it at the PCM connector ends and just kind of like drape it on a wall if you can. Like if you got room in your garage or something, take it and drape it on a wall, and then start depinning and taking everything off. Because what ends up happening is as you're working it and pulling wires out, and that this end here ends up turning itself into a ball. And I spent, you know, full disclosure, I spent probably about 45 minutes detangling this thing this morning because it was just a ball of wires. So I got it pretty well straightened out. I know it still looks like a disaster, but it's way better than it was. This would actually all be spread out, but for whatever reason, GM runs their ground circuits in a loop. So it just goes from one connector, it goes all the way down to the end, and then comes all the way back up. And they've got everything all spliced together. I don't know why they thought that that was a good idea, but whatever, it is what it is. So definitely when you go to do this, try and have like some freed up wall space and drape it on a wall, or because I did it on this table, and I wouldn't recommend doing that, because as it drapes over the side of the table and you're not paying attention, everything just tangles up and turns into a ball. So but we've got it stripped down, and this video is getting pretty long. I'm trying to keep these videos at like 30 minutes or less. So the next video you'll see will be installing the harness, getting everything set up where it needs to be, and then we'll start closing the harness up, and we'll also land the mercruiser harness on top and figure out where that's going to lay. So I'll see you in the next video. Where in the world did I put that fork?